Hi, everyone. It's Mitch from PickDogs.com. It is halftime of several of the NFL games here. The other one's just right before the half. Really, 6 games going on right now. We already had one other game earlier this morning, and that was the Panthers and the Bucks in the London game. But these 6 games that are going on right now, I have to say we got pretty good football for the fans. You know, for those of us that are fans. We have pretty good football for those that are better. So sometimes less is more, and I think that's what we have going on here. This Texans-Chiefs game, pretty much exactly as we were calling it. And really, really nice game. And the Texans certainly not backing down. They got off to a rough start, fumbled, the Chiefs scored, and all kinds of good stuff like that. But the Texans, since then, the Chiefs defense has had no answers for Deshaun Watson and the Texans offense. The Texans have the ball here with about a minute left to go in the first half. Meanwhile, in Minnesota, Philadelphia trying to score before the half, trying to get on the board, 24-10 in a high-scoring battle. That Seahawks-Cleveland Browns game, about a minute left to go in the half as well. The Seahawks with the ball, trailing by 8. The Redskins and Dolphins, 10 points on the board. We expected a defensive battle in that one. Meanwhile, the Bengals knocking on the door here against the Ravens. Saints and Jags, I like the under in that game, and man, it is under. So, I know a lot of people thought that line looked funny, and boy, it's playing. This is probably the formula that the Jaguars were looking for. Definitely a lower scoring game. You don't want to get into any kind of shootout with the New Orleans Saints. That's for sure, even without Drew Brees in there. But of course, it is halftime. I don't see any comments here, so I'm hoping maybe there's just something wrong with my software. I'm going to tune in over. If you're watching us live, then by all means, hit the thumbs up. If you're not watching us live, hit the thumbs up. And of course, be sure to subscribe to our channel. Of course, I'm live every day at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have free picks on every single game, every single day at pickdogs.com. I have a Twitter account. You know, there was a pass interference non-call in the on in that Kansas City Houston game, and they challenged it. I got news for you. There's no reason to have the pass interference being a challengeable call because they're never going to call it. If they didn't call it on that one, they're never going to call it, as the Bengals pick up a field goal here before the half to make it 17-10. The Eagles come away with nothing, 24-10 Vikings as we go to the half. We'll look at some of these halftime lines, and we'll go from there. Man, we have been on live, bringing it all the time. Hopefully you guys have had a chance to check out pickdogs.com. If anyone has or hasn't, by all means, let us know, and let me know what you think. Over on YouTube, I'm going to guess that the notifications did not go out. That happens, We know that that's part of what's going on YouTube, and people are going to say, "Oh, I didn't even know you were on." That's because the notifications didn't go, and Anthony's saying the YouTube notifications didn't go out. It's exactly what I thought. That's what makes these halftime shows tough. But those of you that know that I do them, then But almost all the games are to the half now, except for the Bengals and Ravens, just rounding it out. The Seahawks and the Houston-Kansas City game, as Houston trying to take the lead going into the half. Of course, I gave out Houston on the money line on the earlier show. But let's look at some of these second half lines that are already out. The Jags, 2.5. That's right where the game started. The Vikings, plus 2.5 for the second half versus the Eagles. I don't know. I think they dominated this one. And the Redskins, -3 in this really bad game against the Dolphins. Good to see you as well, Paul. I'm guessing, I'm going to ask a question direct. Is this the first time you're finding me? Because this is what I'm trying to find out. It's like are people finding me? I know every day I get a comment that's something like this, which leads me to believe this is the first time you've seen me since I left Sports Chat, because I've been doing this about a month and I'm just trying to get everyone to spread the word, share it. And I know there's just thousands and hundreds of thousands of people that don't know that I'm out here yet. So, subscribing to our YouTube channel, sharing our Facebook posts, liking posts, stuff like that. This is how it's going to get done. And, it's going to take time. I know that, So, but good to see you, and I'm glad you're here. Yes. I'm going to guess this is his first time finding me, but that's great. But thanks. You guys are all awesome. I know on YouTube we got a light crowd because notifications didn't go out, but that's okay. Still, we have football going on in Seattle, knocking on the door here. Meanwhile, the Ravens going for the field goal here before the half. It's going to be a bomber. So we'll see what happens. This could be a record-setting field goal, unless they can really get it down the field, which they don't. Seattle has found the end zone here against Cleveland to get this game within 2 heading into the extra point. And Houston looking for a penalty flag that's not coming. Doug Peterson, I don't know, man. The ego has been getting in the way. I think this is exactly what the Jags were hoping for. And it couldn't have played more into their hands. Of course, it's 2.5 for the second half for the Jags. I think we had the Jags in the first half. We stick with it. So either you can add to your bet at this point, now that you know that this is the way that the game is going, or you just leave it, or you can hedge out. But it looks like it's going to be a low-scoring game all the way. Points and yards and everything else, very, very tough to come by in this one. But that's what we have going. To me, this Houston, Kansas City is the game. And there's a fumble on the punt in Houston, Kansas City. It looks like the Texans have the ball at the 3-yard line with 16 seconds left to go in the half. Let's see what we got here. Mahomes, sack. It's a strip. And it looks like, to me, like the Texans have the ball. But anyways, we'll get back to this. It looks like the Jags and the Saints have now kicked off for the second half. So that game is off the board. The Ravens, 4.5 points for the second half. I think you go with this one. You can get it to 5 right now. We'll see if they'll add some points to that and we could play it. The Eagles, minus 2.5 for the second half. I like the Vikings still in that one, plus 2.5. You can get the Vikings at minus 4.5 for the second half at plus 260. No reason not to play that one, right? I love the Vikings in this game. Most people know I'm not impressed with the Eagles. And we saw Doug Peterson's ego get in the way again. It's amazing that he has such a big ego for a guy that was a backup quarterback most of his career. I like the Jags second half. I'd have the Jags for the game, so no reason to get off that pick. The Saints have shown me no reason to get off of our Jags pick for the game. Those of you that are watching us on YouTube, if you could hit the thumbs up. If you haven't already done so, subscribe to our channel. Of course, if you're watching us on Facebook, like, share, do all that stuff. Helps us an absolute ton. And the Texans convert and looks like they're going to be leading at the half. Of course, if you joined us for the early show, I said I like Texans money line in this one. Texans with the points was one of my best bets for the day. We'll go back to the NFL halftime lines and see what we have to work with. Yesterday was a weird day in college. It was one of those days where it's kind of like, it seemed like we were mushing around, but at the end of the day, my bankroll was up about 20% on the day. So I think it was those halftime bets, that money line second half USC, I think was really big for us. Wake Forest second half was really big for me. So, it's these halftime games. And, the Ravens right now, the line went from 4.5 to 5.5. I got a little greedy, and I was thinking that maybe they'll give us more points, and they do, but it's at the same price that we could have gotten a lower number at. So the Ravens to win the second half by a touchdown is plus 135. We've seen the Bengals fall apart this season in the second half, so no reason to believe that doesn't happen. Like I said, I love the Vikings in the second half as well. We'll see what's going on in this Texans game as, we have the Texans in this one. It was one of my best bets for the day. I've been on the Texans all season, so no reason to believe that the Texans don't get it done here. But, if you're watching us on YouTube, if you could hit the thumbs up, super appreciated. If you're watching us on Facebook or something, by all means, then share, like, do whatever you can to get the word out there. Once again, another viewer on Facebook. This is the first time that they even found that I was back out here. We've been doing these videos for a month. It's going to take a while. It's probably going to take a year until people notice that I'm out there. Maybe even more than that. So, some people might never find me. And it's, they might be looking for us or whatever. But so far, so good. And we'll see what happens. Looking for the second half line now on this Kansas City Houston game. Man, we're getting 4 points in the game. We have them on the money line already, and they're up by 6 after trailing right out of the gate. They gave up a touchdown and then had a fumble. And now it's been all Texans since. The Chiefs defense has had no answer for the Texans. If I'm the Texans, I go for 2 every time I score because the Chiefs haven't shown that they can stop them. They haven't even come close. No. He was Dan Marino's backup. He's not going to start over him. The Jags are also a good second half team. Yep, they are. Unfortunately, that game has already started in the second half, but we did like the Jags there. I prefer placing the bet at halftime over live betting. I like live betting, but generally in live betting, there's more juice than there is in halftime betting. In halftime, it's general standard 110 VIG, while live betting sometimes has a higher juice. So that's why I prefer the halftime betting to the live betting. Very good question. No such thing as a stupid question. I tell you what, there are such things as stupid questions. So it's the Seahawks -1 against the Browns. I'll tell you, I think the Browns have pretty much dominated that game. It's been a good one. Meanwhile, the Texans-Chiefs, the Texans are +3.5 for the second half here. Man, we could hedge out on this Chiefs game. But, I mean, last week, I've only lost, I think, twice at halftime doing the halftime picks were on the bigger games. And last week on the Chiefs, because we had the Colts for the game, and I was like, man, maybe we should hedge out a little and take the Chiefs for the second half. And it was just ridiculous. But this Dolphins-Redskins game, I'm not really sure what. There's certain games that you say, how could they charge for tickets for this thing? And that's one of them. But anyways, of course, we're here live at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 days a week. Of course, we have pickdogs.com. We have free picks on every single game, every single day. If you guys haven't checked out our website, pickdogs.com, I suggest you do it. If you can't find it, just friend me on Facebook. Send me an email, mitch@pickdawgz.com, DAWGZ. I'm not sure if that was the smartest idea to use that, but I enjoy it, so what? But anyways, just like this. Pick dogs. Anyways. Yeah, I like the Vikings second half. I think we even could push it higher than they're plus 2.5. I think we could take them minus. I took them at minus 4.5 for the second half at plus 260. I don't like the Eagles. I'm not afraid to say it either. Just moving things around so I can refresh the lines, see what's going on. Because these lines have been moving, these halftime lines. The Ravens 5.5 against the Bengals. I like that. Seahawks Browns is 1. I don't really care for that one much. We got the Texans plus 3.5. That's now down to plus 125. We can get the Texans at minus 3.5 at plus 290. And I'll tell you what, the Chiefs defense has no answers. I don't know how many people are watching this Texans-Chiefs game, but they have no answers at all. The cheapest Dolphins ticket was $16. Admissions to the zoo is $23. I'm assuming that's the Miami Metro Zoo. But, yeah, to me, it's like, I don't know. The Chiefs are in trouble. A lot of people I heard say that, oh, no way the Chiefs lose 2 in a row, at home, and no way the Chiefs lose 2 in a row. The Rams lost 2 in a row. The Cowboys lost 2 in a row. Teams lose 2 in a row. It happens all the time. And the Chiefs, I think, are in deep, deep doo-doo in this one against the Texans. Texans really putting the hammer down. The Chiefs offense the Chiefs defense has no answer. They have no answer in this game. So that's why I'm saying it. I just haven't seen any kind of answer here for the Chiefs defense. Just no answers whatsoever against the Texans offense. I just tried to put in a bet on that plus 2.5 or minus 3.5 for the second half, and they didn't accept it. But now the Texans are plus 3, plus 100, and the minus 3.5 that I went to bet is off the board. You can't even get the Texans at the minus 3.5 anymore that I tried to bet them at. The lowest they'll let you bet the Texans is plus 1 at plus 140 for the second half now. I love that minus 3.5. I'm going to guess people pounded it because the Chiefs have no answers. They have no answers in this game. They're on the ropes. We'll have to take our 140 and just take the easy money. The Saints knocking on the door here in Jacksonville. Inside the 20. They're about at the 9-yard line for a first down is what they need. They're inside the 9, down to about the 6. Meanwhile, the Vikings and the Eagles have kicked off. The Eagles have received the second half kickoff, and they're marching, and the Redskins are marching as well. What's the halftime pick you love the most? It is the Texans all day. I also like the Jags, but that one's not panning out for us. But I like the Texans because the Chiefs defense, like I said, no answers whatsoever. Anyways, I'm going to run. I'll see you guys probably halftime of the night game tonight. Maybe halftime of the Rams-Niners also. Who the hell knows? Yeah, the Chiefs can't stop anything. They have no answers. They have no answers. Anyways, this is Mitch. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you guys later on. Be sure to check out pickdawgz.com. Be sure to hit the thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. 2,360 subscribers on YouTube. Man, a little over a month. I can't thank you guys enough. We're going to get pickdawgz.com off the ground. I'm going to have the newsletter probably starting in the next week or so. You guys know my newsletter record throughout the years has been stellar. It's better than my premium picks. So be sure to check it out. Anyways, this is Mitch. Thanks for joining me. Enjoy the second halves of the early games. And enjoy the first half of the late games. Maybe I'll see you at halftime of the next one. Subscribe to the channel, sign up for notifications, and check out pickdogs.com. Thank you.